you girlies out there think that you don't need to put as much effort into your friends as you do your man? Okay? Hello? Okay? You still listening? Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Toby. If you're new here, this channel is just like your encouraging best friend, the best friend that wants you to chase your dreams, live life intentionally, and just love yourself along the way. So I'm glad you made it here. You're gonna love it here, and let's get started. We go straight to business on this channel, and today we're going to be talking about maintaining friendships and just how to be a true girl's girl. Now I know this, before we get started, I just want to let you know this video is not to convince you to be a girl's girl, because I know there's some girls out there that are like, girls are so toxic, I don't like being friends with girls, it's never worked out, blah blah blah. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry that you feel that way. But this video is if you're already a girl's girl and you just want to know how to maintain and grow those friendships, or if you're interested in being a girl's girl, maybe you're a former person who used to say all that stuff beforehand, how to be a girl's girl, how to show up for your friends, how to make those friendships. We're going to be getting all into it today. Let's just chit chat. So I hear a lot of people saying, how do you make friends, right? Because now we're adults, like we don't have like college and like high school and all those things where you're forced to be in the same building and see the same people every day, and it's just easier to make those friendships. You live around the same people. Now we're grown-ups, right? So we're in our own routines. We go to work, we go to the gym, like we have our own routine, so it's harder to meet new people outside of that. So how do you make new friends as an adult? Y'all, this is something that I'm just now sort of getting the hang of. I moved to New York 6 years ago, and I'm still, honestly, y'all, I don't think I even have up to like 5 friends that I can say are friends. So it's always a work in progress. It is slow, and I'm just telling you that to encourage you, because a lot of times people move to new cities and sort of get in their head like, why haven't I met people? Or maybe you see some other people on social media that just seem to have moved to the same city the same time you did, and they have these big groups of people, and you start to be like, am I the problem? Like, why does no one want to be my friend? And it's not you. Sometimes it just takes longer to build those friendships. But what I do have to say to make friends, the first thing is, girl, you have to put yourself out there. I know we don't like to do it. I know we don't like to seem desperate to make friends. I know it's uncomfortable, but you have to put yourself out there. So for example, if you move to a new city, or even if you didn't move to a new city, if you're in your same town, you need to go to more events. Can you go to more things that are happening around your city? Like sometimes I get this newsletter with just like recapping all the things happening in the city the following weekend, the upcoming weekend. So like maybe a random pottery class or some happy hour or some like yoga in the park. Whatever it is, you need to go out in your city and explore, because that's how you meet people. Try and get out of your usual routine. So if you're usually just like work, gym, home, try and do something else. Maybe go to a coffee shop. If you're a remote worker, can you go to a coffee shop and work for a little bit? Maybe you never know who you run into there. Can you try a different fitness class from the one they usually go to? Maybe go to a different location, or just go to events happening around your city, or just go to activities, do things by yourself. You don't have to have someone to go with you. Go to a class by yourself, do something by yourself, and you never know who you're gonna meet there. What also goes hand in hand with putting yourself out there is actually vocalizing that you're looking for friends. And this can be a hard one. It's like, damn, I don't want to seem lame. Like I have to tell people I need a friend. You have to, sis. I'm sorry. So for example, I'll give you an example. So I went to a happy hour in New York probably like 2 summers ago. And while I was there, like I was talking to people, and then when you meet someone that you seem to be clicking with, you can be like, hey, you know, I just moved. Or you don't even, if you didn't move, you don't need to say you moved. You can just be like, hey, like, you know, I'm trying to make friends. I'm trying to meet people. Like, let me know if you want to do lunch or something like that. Literally, you have to be that direct and let them know you're actually looking to connect with people, because people never know. Like they may have their own friends and they're not necessarily looking, so they don't even think to have their radar on if you're looking for a friend, or they just need, we don't know. It's almost like dating. I always say this all the time, like friendship is kind of like dating. It's like you meet someone, it's like, okay, does she like me enough to want to be her friend? How do I say it? Play it cool, blah, blah, blah. That's how it kind of is. And I know this might not sound promising, because I know dating isn't like the easiest thing in the world, but friendship is sort of like that. So number 1, you have to put yourself out there. Number 2, you have to actually vocalize and say that, hey, like I would love to be, not I would love to be friends, but just be like, hey, I'm trying to meet new people, would love to hang out with you. What are you doing next week? Literally that. Use that exact script. Use that. And then the third thing is actually following up. So it's all nice and good to meet someone, you vibe. It's like, hey, I'm trying to meet new people. What are you doing next week? Are you available? And then it's like, yeah, let's do lunch or something. Now it's like you both get home. It's like, who texts who? Girl, you're trying to make friends. You better pick up that phone and text that girl first. Don't wait for her to text you. Don't get into your head about it. Don't be like, she should text me first. just send a text like, hey, it was great meeting you at XXS. Would love to get lunch next week. Are you free on Thursday? Literally get direct with it and follow up and send the text. Don't just like meet someone and then never text the other person again, because then how would you make friends? Another thing to do also is think about having your friends introduce you to people they know. Again, this applies to people that have moved to different cities. So for example, I connected with a friend in New York City that I actually went to college with, but we never talked in college much. But she's good friends with my line sister. So at my line sister's wedding, I saw her there. I was like, hey, we're in New York, blah, blah, blah. And then we started hanging out in New York. So sometimes a mutual friend can connect both of you together. So if you have any friends and you're like, hey, like I'm in New York now, do you know anyone that lives in New York? Maybe your friends can make those intros. And then it's sort of a warm intro, because then that person has sort of been primed for the introduction, and they know that you guys share someone in common and you're not just like a random stranger. So ask your friends to introduce you to people. Again, it's like dating. Ask your friend to introduce you to someone that they think you hit it off with. Quick segue into the next quick topic that goes hand in hand with making friends is not forcing friendships. I just have to pause there. That was such a dramatic pause, but not forcing friendships. Some of y'all be trying to force friendships. And by some of y'all, I also mean kind of me included in this. Not anymore though. So what I mean by that is sometimes you meet people and you're like, oh, like we seem like we should have a lot in common. Maybe you guys live in the same place. Maybe you have the same interests. Maybe you're both fashion girlies, you know? And then you meet them and it's like pulling teeth. The conversation is not flowing. It's not, oh my God, y'all, I keep not trying to equate this to dating, but it really is. It's like that first date, that first meeting, it's like, this person isn't who I thought they would be just looking at them on paper. Like on paper, it seems like we should work, but we're actually not working. And then sometimes you try and force it and it's like, no, we're not working. The same thing applies to friendships. Don't force it. So I've had that situation happen to me quite a lot of times. I go to like content creator events or things like that, and it's like, oh, we both do content, we both do fashion, we're both Black, like whatever. And girl, the conversation's not flowing. And I used to feel some type of way about that a little bit. Like, is it me? Like, what is it about me that is not making this person seem to want to, you know, get to know me more? And then now I don't feel that way anymore, because now when I connect with people and I notice the connection is just very easy, it's instant. Now I'm like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like, and it's natural. And now I don't force friendships anymore, because now I'm like, okay, now I know what it's supposed to feel like when you just have that natural connection with someone. So when I'm not getting it from someone else that I meet, I just know, okay, you're just not my person. And maybe you're just not my person right now. Maybe we'll connect a few years from now, whatever it is, but right now you're not my person. So definitely don't force friendships with people. If you see the energy is just not there, it's boring, the person doesn't even want to get to know you, you know what I mean. You just know when you're like trying to do too much. Just let it go. Let it go. And another point, when I said like, you know, you have to follow up when you meet someone. Like you meet someone, you gel, you text them to hang out, and then maybe they're flaky. Maybe one time they're flaky, maybe a second time you can let it go. Don't text them a third time. And it's so funny because I was actually the flaky one with one of my new friends in New York. She texted me and I was having so much going on with work and stuff like that. So I think I responded late, or I didn't respond or something, but she followed up again, which I really appreciate. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yes, let's do it. So one time the person doesn't respond or whatever, you know, I would check in just one more time. Like, hey, just let me know if it's not a good time, blah, blah, blah. Just check in one more time. I know your ego's going to hurt a little bit, but just check in one more time, 2 times, just check in 2 times in total. And then you can just, you know, just call it quits. But yeah, don't force friendships, girl. If it's natural, if it's supposed to be, you'll feel it, you'll know. So now you've made the friend, right? You've made the friend. Now let's talk about maintaining the friend, because it's easy to make a friend. Maintaining a friend is a whole different ball game. And I feel like I can write a book about maintaining friendships. I don't do 100% the best all the time, but I do a good job. I have my best friends. I'm in a sorority. Y'all, I'm the ultimate girl's girl. Like, I'm in a sorority. Like, hello. So I have a lot of different parts. My line sisters, but then I also have my chapter that I'm in, that I have best friends, and I have different best friends that are not necessarily friends with each other. I have a lot going on. I'm blessed. I see it as a blessing. I get stressed out trying to stay on top of everything, but I see it as a blessing. But how do you maintain those friendships? And the number one thing is effort. You have to make the effort, y'all. Like, let's do a quick side step and talk about this craze or this new trend, low maintenance friendships. Because I be side-eyeing those. I'm like, low maintenance. Like, no. You need to maintain. It needs to be high maintenance. I don't know what people mean when they start saying low maintenance friendships. I think it started out as like not being too needy. Like, you don't need to hear from your friend on the phone every single day. Like, they don't need to call you every single day and things like that. Or like when you're busy, they give you grace to like sort of fall back a little bit. But then we started flipped low maintenance to mean like not trying at all. Like when people say like, I don't need to talk to my best friend every month, I'm like, what the hell? I would jack my best friends up if I don't hear from them for a whole month. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you guys mean you don't need to talk to your best friend every month? Then they're not your best friend. I don't care what you say. You definitely need to put the effort in there, and we need to stray away or go away from this idea that friendship should be low maintenance. I think friendship should be high maintenance, but of course you're not needy and you're understanding when things happen or life happens. But no, you need to put in the work and maintain that friendship. And again, equating friendships to relationships. I'm sorry to make another comparison, but I have to, because I think a lot of you girlies out there think that you don't need to put as much effort into your friends as you do your man. Okay? Hello? Okay? You still listening? Because you do. You do need to put in that same effort. So date night with your man and girls night with your girls. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So you need to put as much effort with your friends as you do with your man. So you get the point. So put that effort in. Girls night, remembering birthdays. Not saying you need to like do presents all the time, like everyone's budget's different, but little thoughtful gifts, send a gift card, once in a while. Put that effort in, check in on them. How are they doing? And give them grace, because y'all be giving your men a lot of grace. Okay, let me stop harping in on you guys about the man, but we see it all the time. Well, you forgive your man multiple times, and then your friend is like, well, I didn't hear from her. She did this and she did that. I'm cutting her off. But you didn't cut your man off though. Okay. So anyway, so putting the effort in with your friends. So what I like to do with my friends, of course, like checking in. I also like to remember if maybe we're on the phone and they mention maybe they have a test coming up or some big project at work or just whatever it is. I try to make a note of it. Y'all, phones make things so much easier for us now. Once your friend mentions something, just put a calendar reminder for yourself. Like, don't even think like, oh my God, how am I gonna remember this? I put it in my calendar immediately. Like, so-and-so's promotion, so-and-so's project, whatever. And just put a calendar reminder for yourself. And then the reminder pops up, ding, ding, ding. And then I text them like, hey girl, I just remembered you had this today. Wishing you luck, hope it went well. And it's like, yay, I've done a good friend thing today. So make it easy for yourself and put it in your calendar. But remember things that your friends tell you about their lives and remember to check in about them. Also, one-on-one time is very important. I think sometimes people that have friend groups fall into the trap of not actually spending one-on-one time with their individual friends. So if you're part of a group, which is pretty common, like you have a group of friends here, a group of friends here that are all friends with each other, you all have the group chat, try to remember to get out of that group once in a while in terms of quality time. So because you all had group brunch as a group doesn't mean you've really hung out with people individually. So I like to try and do this when possible, of course, time permitting or whatever, especially since I live out of town. So if I fly into Atlanta with where my friends are, maybe the first trip I hang out with 3 people individually, and then the next time I do the other couple people. So not saying you have to like take up all your time doing one-on-one dates, but try and remember to have one-on-one time with people, where they're just grabbing coffee or just having a wine night or doing some fun class. Try to remember that group time is not the same as one-on-one time when it comes to friendships. For example, one of my friends yesterday texted me, and I've seen her twice already, like in the last week, but I'm going back to New York soon. But I've seen her as part of groups. And then she texted me, I was like, hey, I want you to come over, come see my new place. Like, we haven't had any one-on-one time. And I was so touched. I was like, I had wanted to bring it up, but I know she's very busy and I'm leaving soon, and my schedule is really tight just because I'm leaving soon. But I love that she was like, no, we haven't had one-on-one time. Like, come over. So one-on-one time is very important, guys, just to maintaining those friendships, building that connection, and yeah, all that stuff. I'm also a fan of scheduling time. Again, people always love to say we're so busy, work, kids, blah, blah, blah. So schedule some time. So again, one of my friends put in our group chat and she's like, hey, we need to have a check-in. And we all were like, I'm available here, I'm available here, I'm not available here. But we figured out a common time we're all available, and we scheduled it. we're having it, we're having a call. So sometimes you need to schedule time. Like there's nothing wrong with that, being like, hey, like let's schedule time. When is everyone available this week, or when are you available this week? Let's put it in the calendar. My best friends and I are already discussing our girls trip. My best friends are moms now, so the scheduling, we're playing around with the scheduling. It's tough, but it's still gonna happen. We're not gonna let that deter us, and we're gonna get that on the calendar and we're gonna go. So even if it's a year in advance, 9 months, 6 months, 2 weeks, whatever it is, schedule it, get it on everyone's calendars, and make it happen. Another thought I have about friendship is also not letting things fester and speaking out more. I think a lot of times we tend to have polite friendships, especially when you're someone that's not confrontational, or maybe your friends are just not like that. Like, I don't fight with my friends in general. And people might take that to mean like, oh, y'all are just not having hard conversations. And that could be the case, but honestly, we just don't have anything to fight about. Like, I think we have boundaries in place. We give each other grace. We're supportive. We just don't fight. Like, I'm trying to think of something that we fought about as a group, and I literally can't think of anything. And I think it's important not to let things fester so that you can have that type of relationship. So even if someone says something that might have rubbed you off the wrong way, just call it out. Just like, hey, you said this, it kind of hurt my feelings. I don't know what you meant by that. And they'll be like, oh no, that's not even what I meant. It was a joke, or I didn't mean it that way, blah, blah, blah. And you nip it in the bud instead of like letting it fester and be like, who does she think she is? She said this, blah, 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 blah. And you build this narrative, this rhetoric in your head that other person doesn't even know, or they're building their own narrative in their head. And then it slowly like erodes the relationship just little by little. So just call things out immediately. I promise you'll be fine. I think everyone in general just needs to be a little bit more confrontational and direct. I think it helps relationships more in the long run. So yeah, with your friends, just call things out, especially as it's a friendship that you want to continue to maintain and grow over the next couple of years. Shit's gonna happen, shit's gonna happen. So call things out, talk about it so that you can move on. Something people love to say about female friendships is that we're competitive with each other. That's one of the negatives they like to say. Like, y'all compete with each other anyway, or y'all don't really want this, or you guys get jealous, blah, blah, blah. I don't find that to be the case personally, and I'm sure for a lot of girls it's not the case. Like, y'all, when something good happens for one of my friends, it literally feels like it's happening to me. Like, in terms of how much joy I feel for them and how happy I am for them. And it's like, oh my God, yes, this person got this promotion, this person got this goal, or literally whatever it is, a new house, a new car, whatever it is. I'm like so happy. I'm like, oh my God, like it makes me happy. So I can't really relate to feeling competitive or like, and I want to pause here. Like, there's nothing wrong with sort of maybe your friend has this great house and your house isn't so great, and you're just like, you would wish you would have a nicer house, or it's like, I can't wait to have that myself one day. But it doesn't mean you're in competition where it's like, well, she got this first and I don't have it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I love it for her. I'm super happy for her. Can't wait for it to happen to me too, which is just general in life. Like, people have stuff all the time that you may want. It doesn't mean you can't be really happy for them, like really, really happy for them when they have it. So that's something you think about. Like, girls are not always competing with each other, guys. I don't want you to think about girls. They're not always competing with each other. A lot of us have very supportive, when I say supportive friendship. My friends, like when I would post on Instagram or social media, whatever, would always share my posts, their stories. It got to a point I started feeling embarrassed about it. I'm like, oh my God, they literally share my stuff all the time. Share my stuff, will ask about it, like share tips and tricks and things like that. Like, I don't believe in sort of holding things back. Like, even if I had a talk with someone yesterday, and a very close friend are in the same business, literally the same business. And she was like, yeah, I have a lot of friends that we all do literally the exact same thing, but there's no competition. Like, it's actually great because when I have issues and I talk to them about it, they know exactly where I'm coming from. They can give me advice. We can all share resources, things like that. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, I have friends in content creation too who are very supportive. I be putting them on, be giving them advice and tips and tricks I've learned. I reach out to them for tips and tricks they've heard, or they encourage me when I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna quit this, and then they encourage me. I love it. Like, they could grow to like 100,000 followers and I'm still chugging along at less than 1,000 followers, and I would love it for them. And you know what, it would actually encourage me even more, because I'm like, dang, like my girl just got 100,000 whatever. Like, I see the work she's putting in. Like, if she can do it, I know I can do it. You know what I mean? So being happy, and it's like, I can't wait to get my own 100,000, but I effing love it that this girl got hers. This is my person. I love it for her, and it's about to be my turn. So try to reframe competition like that. Like, even if you guys are doing the same thing, or like you feel like I would want that too, look at it like, it happened for my friend. That is proof that it can happen for you. Like, let's start thinking of it that way. All in all, what I've seen about people that make good friends are people that are intentional about it, and that is a mission for them. It's like, I want to be there for my friends. I want to be intentional. I want to put the effort in. I want to maintain this friendship. And people that think that way are able to go the distance and be a good friend. Whereas if you're more wishy-washy about it, where it's not that important for you, or you're that kind of girl that like every time you're in a relationship, all of a sudden you go ghost and you don't hang out with your friends or do anything like that, you're not going to keep your friends, and that's going to show even years from now because you don't have that mindset going in. I think you have to have that mindset going in. All my friends, a majority of my friends are in relationships or married or moms. And when I tell y'all, like, I don't really feel the difference. First of all, they're all long distance. Like, none of my friends, close friends, live in the same city as me. So we already have that distance where it's like, okay, like I'm used to only talking to you on the phone anyway. But in terms of the effort in terms of like, hearing for them and feeling that they're there, I don't feel any difference. Like I told you, my best friends are moms. We usually go on an annual girls trip. We didn't go on it last year because one of them was literally about to give birth. We usually go in the summer. But now it's like, okay, the baby's been popped out. Where are we going? We're going to Europe. And the commitment is there. One of them is going to ask her mother-in-law to come stay with her toddler while we're gone. The other one, baby's going to be taking care of family. But it's like, yeah, we're leaving the kids for a week and we're going on our annual girls trip. And that's what I mean by intention and effort. Because a lot of times I see new moms make excuses like, well, I have baby and I have this. And even if they have everything, I'm not trying to be dismissive of people that genuinely don't have childcare or like spousal support or things like that to take care of the baby. But sometimes they have all the resources and they can leave the baby at home, even for a day or 2 days. Let's do a quick 2-night trip or do whatever it is. And they don't want to. I feel like the effort's not there for whatever reason that makes sense to them. But for my friends, it's intentional. I have a lot of friends that are married. Honestly, you kind of forget that they're married because, I mean, we know you have a husband and we see him around, we love him, but they don't make it their identity. So our friendship just keeps on going. And it's like, we know this person's a wife, but like, you're still my friend. Because, girl, I knew you before you even got married or even met this man. So I love it when people are intentional and have that mindset, or when they become moms, they're like, my friendship is so important to me. Just because I think a lot of criticism that people talk about friends as well, especially when your friends are moving on to different life stages, which we can make a whole different video about that, is that they feel that they're left behind. That's because I think sometimes the friends are not as intentional. Again, I'm not married. I'm not a mom. This is just my perspective, which is just as valid, is, okay, you're having a baby. It's a very important part of your life happening, but I also have stuff happening in my life. And I would love for you to remember that. You know what I mean? I think there's this thing where it's like, the person's becoming a mom, so that's important. How are you doing? How are things going? I know you're stressed out. You don't call me in 3 months. It's okay because you just had a baby. And it's like, no, you have a baby, but you remember your relationship still, and you still remember to call. You may not be able to, call me. I may not be able to call you at any time of the night because, baby's crying or you're trying to get some sleep or whatever it is, but I know you're there. I literally be calling my friends or moms and be telling them all my problems. I'm like, hey, how are you? Oh, baby's asleep? Okay, great. Girl, this is what happened to me today. And then the baby wakes up and cry, and then she'll be like, oh, sorry, 1 second. I'm like, yeah, go. It's okay, girl. I'll stay on hold. Okay, you're back? Baby's good? Okay, back to this. Like, I be doing all of that. So, but that's because my friends have the mindset that they're still my friend first. And their identity is still not only shaped by being a mother and a wife, it's a big part of it now, but they're still my friends. That's the main difference I've seen between girls that are able to still be good friends no matter what life stages they're in, is their mindset from the beginning has been, I want to be a good friend. I want to be there for you. Maybe I'm no longer going to Vegas anytime you call me to go or whatever it is, but let's schedule, let's plan in advance, and let's go on our girls trip. And I love that. I love my friends. I love y'all. Y'all can be good friends too. You can be a girl's girl. It's not too late. And if you are a girl's girl, continue doing what you're doing. It's not easy to maintain friendships, but give your friends grace. But still know, I think if there's one thing I want you guys to take away from this is, number one, being a girl's girl is great. Number two is that you need to be intentional in maintaining your friendships and that it takes effort and work. But honestly, the reward is so much more than you can imagine. It's like, it's so worth it. It's so worth it to be a girl's girl. My friends breathe life into me. I've seen this tweet going around that like you be so depressed about life, and then you have one girl's night and you feel like life is worth living again. And that's literally how I feel anytime I hang out with my friends. It's unmatched. You can't even get that from your like romantic partner. Love them, but there's just something about being around your friends, having a great time, laughing, joking around. They encourage you, they inspire you, they just literally breathe life into you. And that's what I want for everyone out there. So continue to maintain those friendships. They're sacred, they're so valuable, and again, they're so worth it. So love on your friends, y'all. Go out there and be good friends. So let me know if there's any aspect of friendships you want me to talk about. Maybe it's like, you know, how to break up with a friend, or toxic friends, or like how to maintain a friend when they become a mom, or things like that. Whatever it is you want to know, or if you have any horror stories about friendships, let me know. We can talk about it. Or if you have any love stories, like good positive stories to share about friendships and what your thoughts on friendships are, please comment below. I want to know, and I can always make another video about friendships. Just let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for being here. Please like this video, subscribe, it really helps. Leave a comment, share it with a friend, and I will see you next time, lovelies. Bye.